Hayton and I are doing together. We have decided that we want to just outpour our energy and the types of service that we offer into the world so that everyone can benefit because we've been doing these sorts of things together for, gosh, like 6 months now.
I think so.
And we've gotten a lot of benefit from it, but I kind of had this aha over the holiday season of wow, we could let other people benefit from this work too. So
Yeah.
this is a brand new venture. We're really going to be helping you with your energy, your nervous system, safety in your body, and really just infusing you with good energy and intentions. These sessions are going to include some energy clearing, some EFT tapping, and some channeled reading slash card pulls. So you get a little bit of everything in this. It's going to be really juicy. So, Meryl, would you please introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Meryl Hayton, and I'm from New Jersey, and I'm a certified EFT tapping professional coach.
Thank you. And an amazing EFT coach, like just absolutely incredible work that you do. So I'm so glad we're going to
Thank
share
you.
this. And I'm Safrianna Lughna, the Queer Spirit Guide. I'm CEO of Living Luna, and I'm a guide. I've stopped using the word coach for myself. I am a
Mhm.
guide. And I just love helping people connect with their authentic self. So let's start with some energy clearing. Today, we're going to be focusing on what many of us have experienced in our lives financial stress or overwhelm or fear, anxiety related to money. I personally have been going through a little bit of this lately. So I thought I know actually, I know because I've talked to probably at this point hundreds of people over the last 2 months. Um, and many people are feeling this sort of financial fear right now. And I think that we're going through a big collective shift in society right now with our attitudes towards money, where we get money. And I see this so much. If you're watching this, you're probably this kind of person. You don't want to make money in a not integrity filled way. So, as we just begin to tune into this topic, I'm going to invite you to just drop in to a little bit of breathing in your own way. Eyes can be opened or closed here, but just allow the breath to flow through the body effortlessly, to go as deep as you want and need, as slow as you can have it be comfortable. And I'm just clearing here, clearing on behalf of the collective, clearing on behalf of Meryl and I, any stagnant energies, especially around money, that are ready to be released. And you could just use the exhale here to blow out any stuck, stagnant, sticky, yuck energy that's in there. Just knowing you are safe, supported, and loved. You are safe, supported, and loved. And breathe in that. Inhale and fill yourself up with some beautiful golden light, green light, white light, whatever color really feels purifying, nourishing, grounding. And feel the way the breath brings you back home to yourself and connects you here in this present moment. And then just take a moment. This is a tool that I use all the time as you come up out of this moment, gently opening your eyes if they're closed. Just take a moment to look around your space. So much of our frantic energy when we're anxious about anything, we get really kind of stuck up in the head. And moving the head and looking down and around really engages the nervous system. It says, I'm safe. I'm not running from danger. There's nothing chasing me right now. And it is one of the quickest things that you can do to bring your nervous system back down. So, Meryl, how do we want to tap on this? I'm going to go ahead and take my glasses off because I know I'm going to need to.
So, one thing came to mind about how I helped myself feel more comfortable about my finances and my money is I literally opened my bank account on my computer. I probably told you this, and looked at my bank account and tapped on the fear that I was feeling, or, how I was maybe feeling insecure about it or something like that. And because what I noticed was when I got bills in the mail, I get that little bit of a feeling, "Ooh,
Mhm.
something to notice," right? And then when I would have to go on about once a month, you go in and you kinda load in all your online banking and stuff like that, right? And, you know, maybe it brings in a little bit of that. So I started to tap on all the little things, and then eventually I was feeling much more calm about money. And then
Yeah.
they started to have more money flow into me.
Mhm.
Because if you are frustrated about your situation, you're going to stay frustrated and your energy is going to be closed off from receiving opportunities, downloads, messages, anything for us to really move forward. And no matter what you're thinking up here, whatever you're feeling here is going to block you from getting what you want. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I shifted that. And so I wanted to share that because it is absolutely, um, what's the word I want to use? Like, it's absolutely hopeful for you. Like, you can absolutely make change. I don't ever want you to feel stuck.
Yeah.
And situations like this, especially money, is your foundation of everything.
Yeah, I always describe money with my clients as like that's survival stuff
Yep.
because in this world, in this society, money is how we eat, it's how we gain shelter, it's how we have our, basic desires met. And
Yes.
so if we feel that constraint, it's very easy to get into fear. Like, am I going to lose my home? Am I going to lose my car? Am I going to not be able to
Right.
put food on the table? So that's something that's been coming up for me lately. I've been doing a lot of processing, and this is kind of what I'd like to tap on and frame this so that
Mhm.
it's anyone, any kind of financial fear. But I was reflecting on, so I grew up in poverty. And when I say that, that's like pretty challenging for me to say because I didn't want to admit that for a long time.
Right.
Um, but I had to skip meals. Like we routinely, sometimes we had one meal a day, or I only ate one time a day. So that's poverty, right? Like I really had my blinders on to that for a long time. And I didn't routinely have school supplies or clothes that fit and things like that. So I really grew up in a situation that gave me a trauma baseline. And so when I recently came into a tighter financial place because I retired and I'm in the middle of transitioning my own career, that brought, of course, financial constraint and limitation in. And I
Mhm.
started to realize, oh my gosh, this is making me feel like that child again, this little child who doesn't know she's going to have her needs met. Right. And so that was like a huge aha for me. And I know a lot of us do have money stories from childhood or we have current circumstances that are bringing up this fear. So I just want to kind of share that whether it's childhood trauma or something in the moment or both, right? You have kind of both playing together
Yep.
like I do. Um, like Meryl said, there is hope and we can also mobilize our nervous systems to not be stuck in this fear. So that is what EFT is
Right.
brilliant at.
And I want you to feel, not just you specifically, but the collective. I want everybody out there to feel that even though I have this fear, I can still be hopeful of what's possible out there.
Yeah,
Be curious and wonder and be excited about
absolutely.
what's possible or what's coming in. And so,
Yeah. So
all
let's
right.
tap on that.
Okay. So, let's create a statement first for you that resonates with you.
I like what you just said. Like, even though I'm experiencing financial fear, I know that there's still hope.
All right. So, um, would you share with us what your fear number is right now? Like, so for people who are watching, if you're not familiar with EFT, you want to create a baseline of where you're at. So, when the fear comes in, are you getting a constriction in your chest? Does it give you a stomach ache? Does it feel like heavy pressure? Or do your shoulders hike up and all this tension?
That's what mine did. I was like, okay.
So you want to notice the physical part of it, right? Mentally, do you want to just distract yourself and go on social media and not deal with it at all? Are you avoiding with, drinking or eating sugar, cookies or something? You want to notice all these things. And then on a scale of 0 to 10, your fear right now number is 0, it's non-existent. 10, it's crazy fear. You want to start with kind of a baseline of all of that. So,
Yeah. So what I'm noticing right now, when I'm intellectually talking about it, of course, it's much easier. So when I dropped into my felt sense with it, I felt my shoulders hike up. So there's definitely this weight in my shoulders. And I
mhm.
would put the fear between like a 5 and a 6 right now. So we'll call it like
Okay,
5.5.
5.5. All right. Sounds good. So for the people who are watching, I feel like I'm going to just sit back a little bit so that you can really see. So just follow along for whoever's watching and repeat the phrases that we are saying. Okay. So even though I'm feeling this fear right now,
Even though I'm feeling this fear right now,
I'm choosing to acknowledge I feel this way.
I'm choosing to acknowledge I feel this way.
And even though I'm feeling this fear around money,
And even though I'm feeling this fear around money,
I'm honoring I feel this way.
I'm honoring I feel this way.
And even though I'm feeling this fear around money,
And even though I'm feeling this fear around money,
right here, I am safe.
right here, I am safe.
Nothing bad is happening.
Nothing bad is happening.
I am safe and nothing bad is happening.
I am safe and nothing bad is happening.
Top of the head, all this fear.
All this fear,
In between the eyebrows, all this fear.
all this fear,
Outside the corners of the eyes, fear.
fear,
Underneath the eyes, all this fear.
all this fear,
Under the nose, fear.
fear,
On the chin, all this fear.
all this fear,
Under the collarbone, all this fear.
all this fear,
And then under the arm pit, right next to the chest, right? You can do both sides if you want. All this fear.
all this fear,
We're going to go right into round two, top of the head. All this fear, and then say and we'll use, Safrianna said her shoulders tensed up, right? So all this tense fear in my shoulders,
all this tense fear in my shoulders.
in between the eyebrows. So fill in, whoever's watching this, what your physical stuff is, right? My shoulders feel tense
My shoulders feel tense.
outside the eye. My shoulders have all this tense fear
My shoulders have all this tense fear.
here underneath the eye. This tense fear in my shoulder.
This tense fear in my shoulders.
Under the nose, all this tense fear.
All this tense fear.
And on the chin, all this tense fear.
All this tense fear.
Under the collarbone, this tense fear.
This tense fear.
It's in my shoulders
It's in my shoulders.
and under the arm. This tense fear in my shoulders.
This tense fear in my shoulders.
Okay. So pause, take a deep cleansing breath in your nose, in and out, and just let that integrate for a moment. For anyone who's new to tapping, that's called the basic recipe, what we just did. And you might feel swirling of energy. Um, you might feel a little energy moving in your head. Maybe it feels a little lightheaded. Drinking lots of water, helpful to shift everything and dismantle and break all this fear down. That's what we're doing so that you can rewire it and anchor into something that you do want, like feeling free, feeling safe, right? So, what would you say your 5.5 number is now?
It came down to a 4, like a solid 4. I felt it drop. I'm definitely noticing, just like you just described, this sort of swirl of energy. The shoulders feel more at ease now, like they're more dropped away.
Okay.
And I know whenever we start to kind of drop the points, I like to sort of question, like, what's still here in the 4?
Well,
Like,
that was gonna be my next question.
yes. And then so I'm already kind of going there. I'm like I said, we've been doing this like 6 months, right? I know the recipe. Um, but yeah, like what is still in this for? So I'm noticing it's almost like it's sunk for me, like down into my lower body, which is interesting. The more that we tap, the more that we can kind of notice how we process things. And I normally process up and out. So this is very interesting that it's actually going down toward my root chakra, almost like it wants to be processed down.
Well, that makes sense because this is all about survival,
Yeah.
right? And our root chakra is all about that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Um, what is still keeping it a 4? Like, I feel like your phrase has changed a little bit. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Or it's there's more of a focus because I mean what we're doing here is very general, right? My fear around money. I mean, for
Mhm.
everyone, that could be 100 different little statements and phrases. So when you break it down into what exactly your phrase is, that's what gives you the big shifts, much faster. So are you feeling like there's a narrowing down of the words for you?
Yeah, so for me, I'm starting to recognize that the fear is around my energy level. So, I've been pretty open that um I was experiencing burnout and I needed to retire for a while to really get myself back to my baseline. And so the fear is actually more around, will I have the energy to do what I need to do to open the gates again? So for me, it's I'm afraid I'm afraid I won't have the energy to do what I need to do, what I want to do.
Okay. Let's go into that. So even though we're staying on you're not repeating this yet, I'm just talking. Even though we're staying on the same word of fear, it's a different little bit of focus. And that's what happens with this work is we have an intention, but it's a flexible intention. And then we just kind of follow what comes in for us. And so we're going to do the 3 statements again and just make it more focused right now. So even though I have this fear
Even though I have this fear.
that I won't be able to sustain the energy
Yeah, that I won't be able to sustain my energy
in order to what? Be successful again,
in
to
order to work, in
in order
order
to
to
work.
yeah,
I'm honoring I feel that way.
I'm honoring I feel that way.
And even though I have this fear,
And even though I have this fear
I won't be able to sustain the energy
that I won't be able to sustain the energy
to work.
to work,
I acknowledge I feel this way.
I acknowledge I feel this way.
And even though I have this fear,
Even though I have this fear,
I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love, accept, and forgive myself.
love, accept, and forgive myself.
Top of the head. This fear
This fear,
in between the eyebrows, all this fear
all this fear,
outside the eyes, fear
fear,
underneath the eyes, all this fear.
all this fear.
Now, let me ask under the nose, like, do you notice where this fear is? Is it still in your shoulders or is it somewhere else?
Yeah, even as we're tapping, the fear is beginning to completely dissipate, actually. It's shifting into, um,
Go on the
like,
sheet.
assurance, like, "Hey, you determine how much energy you put out. That's in your control."
Ah, nice. New perspective. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, what would you say your fear number is now under the cone?
I'm gonna give it, like, a 1.
Yeah. Deep
That
breath.
recognition.
Deep breath in. Then under the arm. Still have a little fear left,
Still have a little fear left,
but feeling much better.
but feeling much better.
All right, let's just take a break. So, for the people who are watching, we only did like 3 rounds, and she shifted from a 5.5 down to a 1. So,
And it
you
can be
know,
that quick.
yeah, it absolutely can be that quick. And at this point, we could go and do a lot more digging and, where have you felt this fear before in your life? As things like that. And, get to the root cause of where and how you felt you needed to have this fear in order to survive and all of that. So, that's kind of how we do this work. But that would be for private sessions or whatever.
Indeed. But great things to journal on.
Yes.
Everything you just said is a great thing to journal on because
Mhm.
that will even give you clarity on where to go in your own personal experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
So I would love to do like a cleanup round for
Mhm.
you and for the people who are watching and kind of put in, I'm feeling more assured. Like that's what you said, like, and what that feels like so that you can have something to use to rewire these patterns, right? Like we're removing the fear, but then what do you replace it with, right? You want to replace it with a new thought, a new perspective, a new anchoring into something new.
Yes. And that's I just want to say this, like that's important in any work that we do. Anytime we clear something out, we've made space for something new. And if we don't intentionally plant that positive seed, what's to stop something else negative from coming in? So that's a really I love that EFT can incorporate this sort of positive installation because I
Right.
think that that's really important.
Right. Right.
All for it.
All right. So this is going to be just like conversational tapping where we're not going to do the setup statement 3 times with even though and all that. Um, but we're going to incorporate what a little bit of what happened. So um, I was feeling fear at a 5.5,
I was feeling fear at a 5.5,
top of the head, and I realized it had more to do with, um, will I have the energy
and I realized it had more to do with will I have my energy?
in between the eyebrows than really my fear, um, than really a general fear around money. So,
Yeah, then really a general fear around money.
outside the eyes. And now I'm down to a 1
And now I'm down to a 1
underneath the eyes, and I feel more self assured
and I feel more self assured.
underneath the nose. I'm wondering what is the feeling that you were describing of it going down to your root chakra? Like, what is that like now?
It's like, I mean, it feels completely clear. My whole
Ah,
my central channel feels very clear now. Like there's a clear pathway down through my root chakra
awesome.
instead of a block.
Okay, great. So I feel this clear pathway down to my root chakra.
I feel this clear pathway down to my root chakra.
Right. Um, and let's go through some accomplishments. Like in the past, I've had plenty of energy
In the past, I've had plenty of energy.
under the arm. In the past, I've been successful.
In the past, I've been successful.
Top of the head. So I'm feeling a little more self assured now
I'm feeling a little more self assured now
in between the eyebrows that I will have the energy
that I will have the energy
outside the eyes. And I'm feeling more capable
and I'm feeling more capable.
under the eyes. Anything else you want to add in here? I'm feeling
Mm, I'm feeling more positive,
good under the
feeling
arm.
even more hope, knowing that I always figure it out. I always find a way.
Oh, that's great.
I'm a very resourceful person.
You are great. And under the arm. So
And
I
go ahead.
always give people the chance to kind of fill in the blanks. And then I kind of use my, intuition and stuff to to help them along. So let's just do this one final round so when I feel this fear around money,
When I feel this fear around money,
in between the eyebrows, I can connect it right to
I can connect it right to,
outside the eyes. Will I have enough energy
will I have enough energy?
under the eyes? And I'm feeling more hopeful that I will
And I'm feeling more hopeful that I will.
under the nose. And I'm going to make sure that everything I do
I'm going to make sure that everything I do
on the chin is with, like, I want to say, like a high vibe energy, or is with a good energy, or with something that makes me feel energized. Like
yeah,
the
that it's something that lights me up
Yeah, it's something that lights me up under the collarbone, so that whatever I am doing is not bringing me down.
so that whatever I'm doing is not bringing me down.
Right. Under the arm. Just tap that out and then relax. Take a deep breath in and out. And then also you can keep telling yourself that you are safe, nothing bad is happening. I mean, those are the best phrases to use, especially, I mean, I was trained to use that in my trauma healing um, training, using EFT. So
Yeah.
those are the best
Yeah,
phrases.
I mean, most of the time that we're feeling afraid is because 'cause we're stuck in the past or the future in some
Mhm.
story of either what did happen or what we're afraid will happen.
Right.
So that is such a powerful, like, right here, right now, I am safe and
Right.
supported.
In this moment, you have to keep bringing yourself back to this specific moment right here. Like Safrianna started us out. Like, you look around, there's no tiger running after you, right? There's no reason to feel the fear, tangibly now, but our stress responses in our body have that stored in there from our past. And that's why we feel these stress responses that make us feel like we need to have this fear in order to
Absolutely.
survive. So,
Yeah, don't be ashamed of your own survival instincts.
yes. Yes. And don't be ashamed of your fear, of your, feeling it.
Yeah. Feeling it means we can move it. And, tapping is so beautiful to get into that present moment and know, like, if I'm sitting here doing this, again, there's no tiger coming after me. I
Yeah.
can be with myself here and now. So thank you for that. Is there anything else that's coming through for you when you tune into your intuition that wants to be done or practiced? I don't know if the unseen therapist has anything to say.
She always does.
Mhm.
Uh, let's see. All right, let's go in and do a little short meditation. Um, so this is what's called optimal EFT, and we use a loving moment, which I'll guide you through, and a higher power. And in this practice, we call her the unseen therapist. But it can be anything that your spirit team, your spirit guides, the universe, God, Allah, Jesus, Holy Spirit, um, anything that you want, you can use. So I'll guide you to close your eyes, and we are surrendering our fear, your fear, up to the unseen therapist or your higher power of choice, and asking for complete resolution. So we're imagining that our energy is open to receiving messages, downloads, signs, songs, anything that will help us to move forward, um, signs to anchor into. Maybe it's you see repeating numbers, whatever it might be. Um, and the unseen therapist knows exactly how to bring complete resolution. And what do I mean by complete resolution? That means that your fear is zero, right? That your fear is zero and there's nothing connected to it anymore. Um, so let's do that where we're, I want you to tap into a loving moment. So that means, rubbing noses with your kitten or, hugging your significant other or being alone maybe at your favorite place where you just feel pure, unconditional love, happy, compassion. It's helping to bring you in your highest vibration. So when you have that, Safriana, just give me a nod or thumbs up. There we go. And let that feeling expand in your body. And I'm going to just um, time us for 2 minutes. And all we're going to do, I'm going to do it with you, is tap into your loving moment and expand that feeling. That's it. If your mind wanders, come back to your loving moment. All right. And I'll let you know when we're done. Staying with your loving moment, not trying to logically figure anything out. Feeling into your loving moment here for just a little bit longer. Expanding it as big as you can, filling up your body, maybe imagining that it's radiating outside of your body, surrounding you, filling up your home, your town, and then just letting it grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And then slowly bringing that energy back into your body and into your heart space where you have access to it at all times. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And then you notice, like, how do I feel about my fear now around money? How do I feel about my fear that I won't have the energy, right? And everybody who's watching this will have a different phrase that they're working on, but it's constantly doing this work and checking back to it and using that loving moment in order to bring in, like being in your highest vibration and just bring in more healing um, to your nervous system, to your body, where it holds tension and stress, and just helping it to continuously heal and move up and out. So
Magical
anything,
stuff.
it really is. Um, anything come up for you? Sometimes, you get like these downloaded messages like, where did that come from? Like that's stuff that happens in these sessions.
Yeah, it was really funny when you were like, "Don't logic or plan anything," because my brain was starting to wander in that like, "Oh, I feel really good. Like, I'm feeling really anchored. I could plan now." And, it was just an important reminder of just because we're feeling good and we have the energy does not mean we need to use it to be productive.
Mhm.
We're allowed to use it for ourselves. So that came in for me. Um, I was kind of bouncing between 2 loving moments, and one was my cat. The other night, she was hiding because the dog came over. Our polycule has a dog, and the dog doesn't live in this house. So the dog came over, and the cat was like, "What is this creature?" And she was very clearly scared. And then she found herself a little hiding spot where she could watch, but the dog couldn't get to her. And so she was sitting up there and I would look over at her and she'd slow blink at me and I'd slow blink back. And, that's like a cat smiling at you basically.
Mhm.
And and I was like, huh, there was a lesson in that too. Like even when we're in the fear, we can find a place to sit in stillness and observe and connect with reality. Right. Like
Yeah.
that was the lesson from my cat that came through. So it
Mhm.
is really interesting how much we can get just even in 2 minutes of dropping in. So much clarity and ease can come in that. So, thank you.
You're welcome. Um, yeah, and I purposely said like, don't let your logical mind because when we're in stillness, we're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. I'm not working hard enough, right? And your mind wants to like figure it out. And really, a lot of I think for me and a lot of people I know, like the transformations and the downloads, it comes all in more and when you're in really in that stillness,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
letting go, like, and that right there is something to jot down to work on, right? Oh, I noticed
Yes.
my logical mind was got to control it, got to fix it, got to change it now, right? And that urgent, almost that urgent fear kind of takes over.
Right.
I don't feel safe in the stillness.
And that's when we end up where I was, when we started our conversation today and this like, I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to spread my energy everywhere. No, I come back home to myself and know that rest and radical rejuvenation is actually what will give me the energy to do what's mine to do in the world, and then I don't have to be afraid anymore. Shall we pull some cards?
Yeah, I have my deck here too. Pull a card too.
So the deck that said it wanted to be here today is the Keepers of the Light, which the book is by Kyle Gray. The artist is Lily Moses, and it's a beautiful, uh, just radiant ascended masters and angels deck. And I heard very clearly, like, we want to help. We would like to help you. Oh my God. I kid you not. Kali Ma facing fear. You can't make that stuff up. You really can't. So, oh, Kali Ma, just look at her beautiful face. And she is saying here, as I just tune into her, like, the more that we look at our fear, not be overtaken by our fear, but witness it. It's a part of us.
Mhm.
It and it usually resides in the shadows, but when we bring it into the light and we face it, we sit face to face with it, we realize this is just like a little child, right? Afraid of the dark, afraid to not have the answers, afraid of the unknown. And half the time our parents didn't have the answer either. And when we face our fear, we can really soar. We can free ourselves. You said something about freedom earlier, and I was like, yes. The card itself says major spiritual changes are unfolding. So when we face our fear, our capacity to tune in to the higher realms also opens to us. I think that fear keeps us very in our bodies in a not pleasant way,
Mhm.
right? So when
It
we
sure does.
Drop it, open our hands up wide. This can come through. So Kali Ma would love to support you if you would like to work with her. You can just call on her to aid you as you face your fear. Can't make it up.
I love it. So I'm working with the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, which is this book here. And the card that I picked came upside down, but I'm showing it to you the right way. It says Loyal Heart. But when you get when you get the card upside down, you're supposed to read the protection message
Mm.
part of this, which is, are you stubborn or overly tenacious about an idea? Or have you become so attached to something that you just don't know how to let it go? Fear, right? Could it be that it's become so much a part of you that you wouldn't know who you are without it? Now is the time to look at outdated beliefs, old ideas, and misplaced loyalties. Betrayal is only a signal that it is time to prune away all who don't serve, all who don't deserve your trust and have no place in your life. Be new, think new, and open your heart to new things. Let go of the old and all your attachments. Spirit has awesome plans for you. Make some room.
Mhm. I like that make some room.
I know, and I love it. That's the two owls.
The two owls, those are so
I
beautiful.
love, I love owls.
Yeah, when you read that, it really like making space and sort of leaving behind what doesn't serve, whether that's people or situations or our fear, that in of itself can be scary. So if you need to, you can always rewind and do the tapping again with the
Yeah,
fear, the joy.
absolutely.
Oh, this was a delight, Meryl. I really think that this is powerful to just bring all of this together. And EFT is such an incredible tool. And we all need more nervous system regulation. We're in a
Mhm.
very overstimulating world. We're constantly taking in information. So, this was an excellent invitation to tune into stillness. So, thank you for sharing this with me.
My honor. Thank you for asking me to join you here.
Yes. So, if there is a particular topic you'd like to see us tap on in the future, feel free to let us know. And otherwise, we'll just kind of go with what the collective pulse is. Like I
Yeah.
said, I've talked to hundreds of people who are in this situation. So, hopefully, you feel a little better now. Let us know. And we're here to support. So, thank you so much, Meryl. Thank you to anyone who watched. And
Yeah.
we will see you again here soon.
Thank you.